Hello boys and girls, Greg from the Scary Spirits Podcast here to make you another cocktail. This week's cocktail is the Grim Reaper Margarita. And as always, it's the featured cocktail in today's episode. I'm going to start with a shaker with ice. To that we're going to add gold tequila, 2 ounces. Or whatever you have. Next, raspberry liqueur, 1 ounce. Sweet and sour mix, 1 ounce. Grenadine, 1 ounce. Next, the recipe calls for gold luster dust, 1 teaspoon. I do not have gold luster dust, but I do have silver shimmer dust. Just as good, right? Then we shake for 15 to 30 seconds. Then we strain into a rocks glass over ice. Finally, top it off with some Sprat. Then we stir gently. There you have it, boys and girls, Grim Reaper Margarita. Yeah, pretty good. It looks a little Halloween-y with the shimmer in there. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy the podcast. See ya.
When you finally pass on to the great beyond, before you go towards the light, would you want to attend your own funeral to hear what people have to say about you? This is a question I posed to Greg during this week's episode of the Scary Spirits Podcast, The Frighteners from 1996. He was a hard no. I myself wavered a bit, but you know what? I think he's right. Whatever anyone has to say, I hope they've said it already, when you're around to witness it. So tell people how much they mean to you. Tell them if they've made a difference in your life. Tell them you love them now. Don't wait until the funeral. Make it weird, but make it count. Cheers.
Welcome to the Scary Spirits Podcast. Please be advised that the presenters may use adult language and/or discuss adult situations. This podcast is not intended for younger listeners or those that may be easily offended. So, if you're ready, let's go.
Hello, boys and girls. I'm Greg.
Hi, everyone. I'm Karen.
And welcome to the Scary Spirits Podcast, the podcast that combines the two very different but highly compatible worlds of scary films and alcoholic spirits.
What could possibly go wrong?
Indeed. How are you, Karen?
I'm doing great. How are you, Greg?
I'm okay, Karen. I'm okay.
Wah, just okay. Greg's
Just
mulch
okay.
didn't show up, so he didn't get to do thirsty work, so now he's all cranked. So get ready. Does that about sum it up?
I had things to do, but not what I wanted to do. So, yeah.
Such excitement in our lives. Who'd have thunk? We used to be cool. Now we're waiting for our mulch delivery.
All right, Karen. Was this film your choice?
Yes, it was.
Tell us all, Karen, what film you chose for us this week.
I chose the 1996 film, The Frighteners.
Any reason you chose that film, Karen?
Well, Michael J. Fox was born on June 9th in 1961. And if you listen to the podcasts in order, this one will come out on June 10th. So we're celebrating Michael J. Fox.
Oh, happy birthday, Michael.
He was like a pivotal actor kind of in my teenage years, I'd say.
Yeah.
It was kind of cool to hear his voice again. I know that sounds weird, but he was kind of everywhere. You know, he was in the movies, on TV, and then, of course, he got Parkinson's, so he hasn't been around as often, but it was kind of neat. It's almost nostalgic to hear him. At least for me, it was.
Do we have a cocktail to enjoy while we discuss the film?
We do.
And what would that be?
It's called the Grim Reaper Margarita.
How would one make such a concoction, Karen?
Well, this is for two
I have
cocktails.
I just have to.
Okay.
So if you watch the YouTube, I'm doing half the recipe.
Yeah, because Greg does do all the cocktails on the YouTube channel, so check it out.
You watch
What's
much
it called?
as I.
Scary Spirits. And that's it. That's all we have to search
Scary
on
Spirits
YouTube.
Podcast. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Do you think you're getting better at bartending?
Yeah, I think so. I'm more confident anyway. If I want to sub something, I just do it. I don't care.
Well, you were always an excellent muddler, so, you know. Okay, you're going to need 4 ounces of gold tequila, 2 ounces of raspberry liqueur, 2 ounces of sweet and sour mix, 2 ounces of grenadine, 2 teaspoons of gold dust luster, and 4 ounces of Sprite. It's pretty easy to half that. I don't know why they didn't do it.
I know, right?
Add the gold tequila, raspberry liqueur, sweet and sour
I guess because you're not supposed to drink alone, Karen.
I guess, especially when it's a Grim Reaper. I don't know where I was, so I'm
Just
gonna
start at the beginning. It's fine.
Add the gold tequila, raspberry liqueur, sweet and sour mix, grenadine, and gold luster dust into a cocktail shaker filled with ice. Shake well for 15 to 30 seconds to combine. Strain into 2 8-ounce glasses filled with ice. Top with Sprite and gently stir. You can garnish with 2 fresh pineapple wedges, 2 maraschino cherries, and some fresh pineapple leaves. But that's only if you're fancy.
Yeah, I didn't have none of that. I didn't even have a cherry.
That's embarrassing.
Gone through all my cherries. I didn't have the gold luster dust either, but I had silver shimmer dust, Karen.
Ooh. So he must have just, as he said, he just threw that shit in there on the YouTube channel. He didn't care.
Nope.
Gold luster dust, silver shimmer dust, it's all the same.
Same
Throw
diff.
it in there. Yeah. Make it shiny.
It tastes the same.
It's true. Make it glimmer.
All right, Karen, should we give our friends and listeners time to make their own Grim Reaper margarita?
Yeah, get to that. Don't drink alone.
Hold on.
And we're back.
Yes, we are.
Karen, might you have a brief synopsis for us of this film from way, way back in 1996?
I do.
I had a 1996 Jeep Cherokee, a white one, Karen. You'll hear me say it a lot tonight.
Oh, always wanted one of those.
Go on, Karen. Tell us all the story.
The Frighteners follows Frank Bannister, a psychic who develops the ability to communicate with ghosts after a car accident kills his wife. Operating as a con man, Frank uses his spectral friends to haunt homes in his town so he can charge residents to exorcise them. However, his scam turns into a deadly supernatural thriller when an entity resembling the Grim Reaper begins killing both the living and the dead.
Thank you, Karen. We are not a match.
Oh, what do you got?
I have. Once an architect, Frank Bannister now passes himself off as an exorcist of evil spirits. To bolster his facade, he claims his special gift is as the result of a car accident that killed his wife. But what he does not count on is more people dying in the small town where he lives. As he tries to piece together the supernatural mystery of these killings, he falls in love with the wife of one of the victims and deals with a crazy FBI agent.
Yours might be a little better.
They're both fine. All right, Karen, tell us everything you really enjoyed in this film,
From 1996.
starring Michael J. Fox, whose birthday was yesterday.
I've never seen this, so I was looking forward to seeing it. I think it's good. I like the acting. I like the story.
If you had seen it, would you have still picked it?
Maybe. Depends
Okay.
on how long ago I saw it.
True.
'Cause, you know,
True. Yeah, I get it.
if I'd seen it in the theaters, probably I would have. I think it's good. I mean, I don't think the effects are bad. I think you're probably going to say they are. They look a lot like projections that you see in haunters' homes and things. There are parts of the story that I really, really liked. And I think there's something about Michael J. Fox to me that it's not like always so handsome or what. I just think he's fun to watch. I like his acting style, I guess. I thought like I said, I think the effects are pretty good. I like the humor in it. I thought I was entertained. I liked it. What about you? Did you like anything about it?
The first thing I wrote down, Karen, is the effects are okay. They're okay. They're all right.
Some are better than others, but overall, I think they're all okay.
And I just made me remember something. I think Michael J. Fox has done a lot of movies like this where he's being given direction to act against a character who is not actually there with him. Like it's pieced together, you know what I mean? Through special effects. I feel like he's done that a lot for some reason.
Really?
I do. I don't know why.
But he does well.
He's fine. Jeffrey Combs as the FBI agent. He's kind of funny. You remember Jeffrey Combs
No.
from The Reanimator?
Oh,
We've done another film he was in too, but yeah, that's what he's known for, The Reanimator. And the last thing I wrote is it is kind of nostalgic.
yeah, it doesn't necessarily have an 80s vibe or a 90s vibe so much, maybe it has a 90s vibe because an 80s, you can tell right away with the 80s fashion and music and hairstyles and everything, but it is nostalgic. But I thought I had that feeling because it was Michael J. Fox, but maybe it's the overall film of the whole thing. And I just centered on
the
him.
whole film because
That's probably what it is, but I just focused on him.
There's poltergeist stuff in it. There's the Shining stuff in it.
There are little hints all the way through.
They do little homages to other
Like
films.
Easter eggs, yeah.
That's all I wrote. Is there anything you did not particularly care for, Karen?
Well, it's funny you mentioned the FBI agent because I didn't like him at all. I thought it was just stupid. I think it takes a certain sense of humor to appreciate him. I thought it was like a bad Jim Carrey to me. That's what it felt like he was going for. And he almost seemed like I didn't take the time and I should have. I meant to look up, was Back to the Future before this or after this? Because he's very similar. There are very similar. Like The girl in this is very reminiscent of Leah Thompson. He was the FBI character was very similar to another character in Back to the Future. You know who I'm talking about?
Hmm. I think so.
His dad, I think, in when he went
Yeah,
back in
yeah, yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah.
Anyway, I think it was just an extra character. I don't think they needed him. The sheriff could have done all the things he did. I know the sheriff is kind of a supportive guy and everything, but it just added, he's just too weird for me. And I know there are people who probably found it funny. I didn't. It was not my sense of humor. I think there's too much going on. They needed to somehow streamline it with the mom and the daughter and the killer and the like. It almost seems like we almost had to circle back, like, oh yeah, there's the daughter, we got to go check in on them, and it just didn't feel streamlined to me. I don't know if that's editing or if it's too much story. Like we could have shaved some things out. We didn't need everything that was
I
there.
think those are the same thing, Karen. Editing and too much story. I think that's the same thing.
But I don't know what the director was going for. I think whoever, and I think, was it Peter Jack? I think he wrote it, didn't he?
Peter Jackson.
Yeah. I think it's just too many things. Do you have things you didn't like?
Yeah, he did co-write it and produced it and directed it. Do I have anything, Karen? Is that what you said?
Uh-oh, he's pulling out the notepad.
It's got a big cast. I wrote too many and too much. Going to what you were just saying about the stories. There's like too many different things going on.
I
And most
agree.
of it's for comic relief, I feel
Kind
like.
of, yeah.
And because of that, Karen, the next thing I wrote is it's too long. We didn't need all of this. This could have been cut down to an hour and a half.
It would have
Easy.
been better if they didn't make it a comedy. Like if they had just stuck to the story, it would have been creepier.
Next thing I have is it's cheesy and it's got bad jokes. Most of them aren't even funny. And leading from that, I also say it hasn't aged well, really.
No, there are definitely bad
There are some things
things
in
there.
there that would not make it to screen today.
No, agree.
Guarantee. I wrote I like Jeffrey Combs, but he's a little like it feels like they wrote this for Jim Carrey and got Jeffrey Combs to do it. That's how it feels to me. But from what I read, he was cast because Peter Jackson liked him in The Reanimator. And I would also argue that his character's not even needed.
No, it's not.
We don't need the FBI coming in here.
Especially with
Starkwater.
how weird he,
We
with
got a
how weird
sheriff.
he
We got a
is.
sheriff. We got a whole
Yeah.
police department. We even got dead people taking control of the situations.
Yes. Yeah, we did. I
We
agree.
didn't need the FBI guy.
I don't
That's all
know.
I got, Karen.
I think
That's
it
all
was
I wrote.
I think the story's interesting. Someone who can see ghosts and then uses the ghosts to freak people out and make money. I like the con man angle. That's interesting.
It is interesting.
The whole newspaper thing, the whole, like, there's just FBI thing that can all be cut out and go
The whole his
directly.
house thing, everything,
Yeah.
all that shit can be gone.
The romance happens way too fast for me.
Well, it's almost got this Cyrano de Bergerac kind of thing to it too, where
Yeah.
Michael J. Fox or Frank is like telling her what her recently departed husband is saying to her.
I think she had love at first sight or something. It was weird. Too quick.
We do see it's not a wonderful marriage, really.
No, I agree. But still, it's just parts of it felt rushed, parts of it felt really drawn out. And you're right. I think a lot of the humor, maybe it just didn't age well. Had you seen this before?
No.
Okay. So we're looking at it, we're looking back at it, and it's not, all the jokes they don't land anymore.
The mark on the head stuff's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yes. I like that.
That he
part of
could
the
see
story,
that.
but
That was
yeah.
kind of cool. Like there are parts that are good but other parts that could just go. And the daughter thing, that's fine. But they should have spent more time on her conjuring her dead killer lover and
Yeah.
less on it would have been more interesting.
I was going to say that the twist is kind of interesting, but you kind of see it coming
Yeah.
a little bit.
So I don't know. It's fine. I was entertained. I thought it's interesting to think about what you would do with that power if you had it. Friendly versus non-friendly ghosts, who can kill ghosts, things like that. But it's too long and it's too meandering. But I like the special effects and I like the acting in it.
What kind of cocktail rating do you want to give this film, Karen?
I don't know, I'm torn. It's not as bad as the fours, but it's certainly not as good as some of the threes. But it's a really high three. Like it's almost a four to me. But I think it's a three.
I would agree. I'd say it's a 3 3/4, but
But it still gets that three. I think you're overly harsh, but that's okay.
you think it's better than a 3 3/4?
Yeah, I'd
Is that
say
what you're
it's three and
saying?
a half.
3 1/2? All right.
I bet it was better then, though. I'll say that.
Sure. And I tried to, as I was watching it, I was like, if it was 1996 and I was in the theater,
Yeah, the effects would have been better. Maybe, I mean, I would probably have still been annoyed at some of the jokes, but you know,
yeah, I agree. They're cheesy. They're bad. Bad jokes are just bad all the time. All right, Karen, before we get into it scene by scene, would you like to hear a review from the time?
oh, please say it's Roger. Is it Roger?
First, I have to tell you, Karen,
Oh,
this has
me.
a 7.1 out of 10 approval rating on IMDb. It has a 65% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that.
What do you think Google users say, Karen?
I'm gonna say 79.
I'm going to give that to you, Karen.
Really? Am I under? Is it 80?
It's 80%.
Oh, that was close.
Review I have is from July 19th, 1996, by a writer named Roger Ebert.
Yes.
And I will tell you before I read it, he gave it 1 out of 4 stars.
Oh, wow. Okay. He was
Now,
not in the mood for a horror comedy.
incredible the amount of work that went into the Frighteners, and appalling. Anyone who appreciates special effects, computer animation, or movie makeup will regard this movie with awe. Ooh. There's not a shot that doesn't suggest infinite pains and patience. Complex makeup was painstakingly applied to actors for shots that were then married to special effects in order to create a screen filled with gory images. But all of that incredible effort has resulted in a film that looks more like a demo reel than a movie, like the kind of audition tape a special effects expert would put together, hoping to impress a producer enough to give him a real job. Peter Jackson, who directed The Frighteners and 1994's much better Heavenly Creatures, qualifies on the basis of this film for any special effects movie you can imagine, just as long as it's about something. One of the more excruciating experiences for any movie lover is to sit through a movie filled with frenetic, nonstop action, in which, however, nothing of interest happens. The Frighteners is a film like that. A film that compels me to break my resolution never to quote Shakespeare's full of sound and fury signifying nothing. It's like watching a random image generator. The plot involves a professional ghostbuster named Bannister, who is not quite the fraud we think him to be. True, he haunts funerals, offering his services to the bereaved who might want to contact or avoid loved ones on the other side. But Bannister isn't just pulling a con game, he really can see ghosts. In fact, he lives with 3 of them: Judge, Cyrus, and Stuart. They're spirits who have not quite gathered the will to become definitely dead, so they hang around, spooking people to drum up business for Bannister. The story takes place in a town described as the mass murder capital of the nation. Among its residents is the hapless Patricia, who has lived for years as a virtual captive of her mother in the old local sanitarium, the site of a gruesome mass murder. Now, a new death wave has broken out. And Bannister, because he hangs out at funerals, is a prime suspect. The beautiful widow Lucy believes in Bannister, who grimly tells her, "I've got to have an out-of-body experience and have it now." His plan: induce death, do some quick heroics on the other side, and get back before irreversible brain damage sets in. His attempt to do this sets up the central section of the movie, in which the special effects go truly berserk. The walls seem filled with people behind them who make the wallpaper ripple and bulge. Spectral manifestations pop out of the woodwork. There is a villain who is mostly a skeleton, his flesh having rotted, but not his malevolence, and his ghost friends come and go, transparent but involved. The movie is like an anthology of devices from other thrillers about the spirit world. We get squirt guns filled with holy water. We get black goo oozing out of hell. We get ectoplasm in car trunks. We get lots of religious symbolism. And then he says in parentheses, why is it Catholicism is the only religion appropriate to exorcism in movies? Everything comes to a shrieking climax in the old sanitarium where the moldering chapel holds the key to the past, and a would-be mass murderer, perhaps overcome with Olympic fever, cries out, "This record should be held by an American." It is better, I think, to sit through a movie where nothing happens than one in which everything happens. Last year, I reviewed a 9-hour documentary about the lives of Mongolian yak herdsmen, and I would rather see it again than sit through the Frighteners.
Oh,
I think he agrees with me more than you, Karen.
no, I think it's fair. There is just a lot of unnecessary stuff, but the core, I think, is worth watching.
All right, Karen, before we get into it scene by scene, would you like to hear what film I have chosen for next week?
I can't wait. What is it?
Film I have chosen is from 1956, a film called The Werewolf.
Because
Well, Karen, our next episode comes out June 17th, and The Werewolf was released on June the 13th, apparently.
well, that's good timing. Do you have a drink to go with it?
I do, Karen. It's called Wolf's Bane Serum.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Have you had it before, Karen?
No, but I like the name. That sounds like a concoction I should keep in my cupboard. What do you got?
Well, first thing we're going to need is 1.5 ounces creme de violette.
Oh boy, what is that?
I don't know. Creme de violette. It's a purple liqueur.
Did you check to see if we could find this?
I don't care.
What are you going to just throw in there in the YouTube
I got
channel?
other crema de things I can throw in. It may not be the right color, but it'll be fine. And we're going to need lime juice and club soda.
That sounds like a pretty important ingredient. Go ahead and tell everyone how you make it.
In a mixing glass, we're going to combine the crema de violette and lime
You just
juice
like saying
over
that.
ice. I'm probably not even saying it right. Then we stir. We strain into a glass filled with fresh ice. Then we top with club soda and garnish with lime if desired.
Oh, I desire. I'm curious to see what it tastes like. I think it tastes purple.
I don't know. So that'll be next week, Karen.
Looking forward to it.
All right. Are you ready to get into the Frighteners scene by scene?
No, because I have a very important announcement.
Go on, Karen. What's your announcement?
I don't like your tone, Greg. I want to tell everyone that the Scary Spirits podcast made it to Million Podcasts Best 100 Horror Movie Podcast in the U.S. list.
Wow, Karen. Crazy.
We're influencers. And we're not even number 100. We're 5 spots up from that. We are number 95. There are at least 100 movie podcasters.
Maybe after
Horror
this
movies.
episode, we'll jump up to like number 80 because you mentioned the website.
Well, let me mention the website, millionpodcasts.com. Go on there and check us out under horror movie podcast, number 95. Yeah, that's where you'll see us.
We're
Not
number 95.
95.
We're number 95.
Hey, we are not at the complete bottom. We are actually up a few. I
All
wonder if
right.
I keep checking if I can make us go up somehow.
All right. Are you ready to get into the Frighteners now, Karen?
Greg is not into that at all, and I am excited by it. It's probably a total scam, but you know what? I don't care. I'm number 95. Go me. They even called me doctor. Yes, let's get into it scene by scene, Greg.
8 pages, Karen. 8 pages I got here.
Now you can skim.
Rated R.
Way to sell it, Greg. Now we're going to be number 96. Because everybody's
No,
just like
people
8 pages.
appreciate honesty.
They're like, I'm not going to listen to 8 pages. Wonk, wonk, 96.
Well, they're already halfway in. They might as well finish it. If we can do this in a half hour.
Let's go.
Where did you watch it, first of all, Karen?
Amazon.
I watched it on archive.org.
I looked on there and couldn't find it.
Well, I did.
I could only find the poster and stuff. Oh, good for you. I looked.
Well, on Amazon Prime, you have to rent it. It's rated R for violence, frightening scenes, smoking, foul language, and of course, flashing lights, Karen.
Yes.
I think they should list a trigger or two in there as well, but whatever.
There's some gun violence, that's for sure. Everybody has a gun
And
with unlimited ammo, as far as I can tell, until the very end. But go ahead.
and we have credits, and the first thing I see is produced by Robert Zemeckis, which I didn't see in the credits in Wikipedia. But thunder and lightning. See a woman running down the stairs. Wall comes out and grabs her. An old woman says she's too young. Something in the walls chases her. She cuts her hand on a broken dish. The same something chases her up the stairs. And the old woman grabs a shotgun and shoots whatever it is. And she says, "The wicked will be punished." And we have credits. And I wrote Jeffrey Combs. And we see reporters, I think, writing about a mysterious heart condition. I think the editor is Magda Reese Jones, the woman.
Yeah, we're in a newsroom, a newspaper place. And there's a reporter that's written an article about all the recent deaths. And he's showing it to his editor, who's Magda. And she's like, I want a human angle. I want a human angle. This is all you're just regurgitating stuff.
Yeah, she sent Steve out, put a human face on the story.
Yeah.
Then we have more credits. I wrote music by Danny Elfman.
I saw that too. All the big hitters.
There's a funeral. Frank Bannister arrives and begins giving his business card out to the mourners. He's a psychic investigator. They run him off. He drives away in his classic automobile. I wrote, Karen. I didn't know what it was.
I couldn't tell what it was.
Look it up.
Yeah.
And then I wrote directed by Peter Jackson. So the credits are still going. Frank has an auto accident. The homeowner comes out and is not happy. Frank gives the guy his card.
He's a horrible driver, or his car, whatever classic it is in horrible shape. It almost looks like he can't steer the thing, or I don't know, something's wrong. And he runs right over, instead of going around bends, he just goes through the middle, like through the grass and debris. And he ends up taking out someone's white picket fence, who turns out to be Ray, right?
Yeah, we find out later.
But he says, here's my card. I'll pay for the damages. But they get into it a little bit. And then Frank is mean and runs over some of his garden gnomes.
Yes.
On the way out.
So then we see a woman driving a 1996 white Jeep Cherokee to an asylum, ? I wrote. And right here I said, that looks just like mine. She's Dr. Lucy Linsky. I just call her Dr. Lucy or Lucy the rest of the time. Comes to see the old woman. Doctor wants to take Patricia to the hospital.
Well,
after examining her wounds.
The woman says only Dr. So-and-so can come, and was busy, so they sent Lucy. Lucy's a newbie. Doesn't know that the daughter can't leave the house. But the older lady comes off as overbearing, maybe not, a little crazy. She says, Patricia is not to be trusted.
The old lady pushes Dr. Lucy out. Old woman thinks her daughter is a murderer. So then we have archived film footage of a mass murderer, Johnny Bartlett. Patricia was implicated as well. She was in love with
She
Johnny
was like,
Bartlett.
she was 15.
And then we learn right here that Dr. Lucy lives at the house that Frank crashed his car into, apparently, because we see her and her husband getting ready for bed. We get some background on Patricia Bradley. She lives in the home and is supervised by her mother. It's Lucy and Ray's anniversary.
Well, wait, did you say so there's a black and white reenactment where Johnny is killing everybody. Nobody was spared. It's like oh yeah, what she's watching on TV. So Lucy goes home and in order to relax is watching true crime TV, as some people do. And she's seeing this reporter talking about how no one was spared. I think how many did they kill? 12? Because they killed doctors and patients and staff. Because not even it says not even the hospital chapel provided sanctuary because even people in prayer on their knees were killed.
Ray finds Frank's business card in the bed. Lights start going, which I didn't understand at first. Lights go off and on, and the bed levitates. Raggedy Ann doll attacks Lucy. A chicken walks into their room. A cleaned and deep.
Yeah.
Lucy calls Frank. Ray does not want to call him, but Lucy is sure they have a poltergeist.
And he runs over stuff when he gets there. It's kind of a dick. He runs over more of the gnomes. But he comes
I
in and
didn't even notice that.
and he does this spiel, persistent residue of the departed. He comes in, where's the activity located? What happened? And then when they said the bed levitated, he calls it spontaneous recurrent psychokinesis. The worst case he's ever seen.
Frank says he can clear the house, but it'll be expensive. $450, Karen.
Yeah.
Ray agrees to forget about the fence and call him even. Frank starts up his machinery, pulls his squirt gun full of holy water. Ray is not convinced.
No, Ray doesn't believe, even though he saw all this, he still doesn't believe that Frank can do anything.
A foil bag comes up out of his equipment. Frank says it contains the spirits or whatever, some bullshit. But he asks what they want to do with it, and they don't want it, so Frank puts it down the garbage disposal. He says, don't worry, they can't feel a thing.
At least I don't think so.
Ray tells Frank to go. Frank sees a number 37 on Ray's forehead. Lucy does not see it. Frank leaves, but whatever it is in Lucy and Ray's walls, I wrote.
Yeah, it's still there.
Ghost comes out of Frank's trunk. A second ghost comes out of Frank's trunk. Cyrus and Stewart. Apparently the ghost worked for Frank. And for some reason, the number wasn't cool.
His house is all falling apart. You can definitely tell he doesn't have money. There's two, Stewart and what's the other one? Cyrus. One's from Cyrus is African American. He's from the 70s, got all the groovy dude stuff. And Stewart's kind of a nerd. They don't want to ride. They bitch about riding in the trunk. He says he doesn't want ectoplasm in his car because it's so nice.
They discuss how they can handle Frank because they're kind of getting tired of his shit. See Frank taking a shower. Cyrus comes up through the drain and wants to call a meeting.
I didn't see that. I think how long was your movie? You're seeing stuff I didn't see. Because mine was 1 hour and 45 minutes. I think
mine was it's 1 hour 50 minutes according to Wikipedia, and that's what I watched.
I mean, I didn't see him taking a shower.
Yeah, he was taking a shower.
Interesting.
It's just more bad jokes that wasn't needed. Another ghost arrives called the Judge. Apparently he's a gunslinger. We see a ghost dog too, and apparently the ghost dog has been chewing on the Judge's jawbone because he didn't have one. And he took it back from the dog.
I thought the dog had his own jawbone, but he does say when a man's jawbone drops off, it's time to reassess the situation.
Yeah, he's afraid He can't haunt anymore. He's getting too old. His ectoplasm is all dried up.
Yeah.
So we
But
see
Frank's encouraging him, yeah.
Frank looking at death notices in the newspaper. Then he is startled by what appears to be a Grim Reaper, but it's actually Cyrus and Stewart under a black robe. And then we have a racist joke.
See, I didn't see that.
Okay.
Hello, boys and girls. Thanks for listening to the Scary Spirits podcast. Karen and I really have a great time putting these episodes together. If you enjoy what you hear, please consider taking the time to leave a review wherever you listen. Reviews really help independent podcasts find listeners. The more listeners we have, the easier it is for people to find us. Now, back to the show.
Frank gets a notice from the bank that they want $15,000 or they are going to sell his house.
None of that.
All right. Frank scolds the ghost about their recent work. They need to get really scary. He needs to make some money. So then we see Cyrus and Stewart outside a house. They're going to do a haunting. Inside the house, we see a nanny taking care of 3 babies. The ghost talked the baby into helping them scare the parents.
I thought that was funny because the kid can see the ghost. The baby can.
Babies flying around through the air. Nanny screams for mom. Babies go flying through the air and run into mom.
All 3 of them.
One of them has Frank's business card. Frank gets the call. He takes the judge with him. Judge tells him the town is in deep trouble. Death is among them. Frank drives through a funeral procession. And I think the station wagons are supposed to be hearses. I don't know. Frank gets there and does his whole shtick. Woman has the newspaper article exposing him. Tells him to leave.
Okay, but here's the thing about that. Her kids were still flying through the air. And she just says, "You're a fraud, leave." I would have let him try. I mean, what's she going to do? Her kids were literally flying through the air.
I know.
But he just leaves and she doesn't want him there. I'm like, I don't know about that, but.
Frank goes down to the newspaper to talk to Magna Reese Jones.
Yeah, he's not happy.
He's upset that they wrote the article about him.
She's trying to ruin him, he says. It almost feels like they have history, but we don't know what it is because they don't like each other. Yeah, but why?
Another funeral procession. He sees Lucy as a passenger in her white Jeep, I believe. Ghost of Ray comes running towards Frank. Frank tries to get Ray to go to the light. Apparently, Ray had a heart attack while he was exercising. Frank takes Ray to the ceremony. Ray wants to hear what they say about him. Ghosts all pop up from the cemetery. And I wrote, Hiles, the former master sergeant, whips them all into line. He tells Kenny to disappear, but maybe it's Frank. I don't know. He tells someone to disappear. And I wrote, he can hurt the living because he beats up Frank a little bit. And we're at Ray's funeral. Ray's upset about what they say about him.
I'd want to go. Would you want to go to your funeral?
I don't know.
Hear what people say before you leave?
They drop Ray's casket into the ground.
Do you already know? Is that what you're saying?
No, I don't know. Lucy is very upset. Ray falls into his grave, sees his body in the casket. Ray yells at Frank to get him out. Sheriff arrives. He wants to talk to Frank. FBI is worried about the deaths. They look like heart attacks, but when they do an autopsy, it looks like there's been a tremendous weight on the heart and it's been crushed. Frank pulls Ray out of the grave. Lucy confronts Frank. She wants to know if he has a message from Ray. Frank tells her that Ray says he loves her very much, and he does say that.
But did you notice what Lucy was wearing? She had a French beret on, which I think we've talked about before, but we're going to talk about it. It's black for mourning. And I think after I did this, I thought, did we do this before? But let's see. The French beret originated as a practical waterproof wool cap worn by shepherds in the Pyrenees Mountains on the French-Spanish border. Over centuries, it evolved into a symbol of working-class solidarity, military valor, and artistic bohemia, eventually becoming an enduring global icon of French culture. Dating back to the Middle Ages, local shepherds knitted caps from raw sheep wool The natural felting and lanolin in the wool provided cheap, lightweight, weather-resistant protection against the harsh mountain elements. In the late 19th and 20th centuries, the practical cap was adopted by elite armed forces. And then later it became a standard color-coded piece of headwear throughout the French military. For example, green for the Foreign Legion. During the Impressionist era and into the 20th century, the cap was embraced by painters like Claude Monet, Pablo Picasso, and Auguste Rodin. Rodin, I think. Rodin. It became the uniform of the avant-garde, symbolizing bohemian intellectualism and anti-establishment thought. And during World War II, the wool cap served as an unofficial emblem of the French resistance. It became a powerful, subtle symbol of unity and defiance against the Nazi occupation. She had a lot going on top of her head there.
Then we see Frank and Lucy having dinner. And I wrote, they must be eating at Excalibur.
That's what it looked like. I don't even know why they did that. It was funny, though.
Because Ray made reservations for he and Lucy at Excalibur for their anniversary.
Oh, see, I didn't see that. Okay.
That was when they were in bed before everything went crazy. Frank relays messages to her Frank relays
Ray's messages
to her.
But we see throughout the dinner, we're getting hints that their marriage wasn't strong, when Frank says to Lucy, what do you want to drink, red or white? And Ray is saying, red, we always get red. And Lucy says, white, I never cared for red. So you can see, we're starting to see the cracks and everything.
Apparently, we learned Frank was in a car accident 5 years ago because she wants to know how.
He's telling her his story.
And now he can see ghosts. Lucy wants to know where Ray invested her money. That's the one question she has. But apparently Ray blew it on a bad investment.
But Ray says, don't tell her that. I'll figure it out. And then Frank just spills the beans.
Yeah. But then Frank tells Lucy that Ray has left, even though he hasn't. And Lucy begins talking about their marriage, and then Ray spills wine on Frank.
Yeah, because Lucy's saying it wasn't that great. And Frank reaches out and covers Lucy's hand for some reason, and that pisses Ray off, and he gets mad.
Then Frank goes to the bathroom to clean himself up. A man walks in, and Frank sees a number on the man's forehead. I wrote, there's something in the walls of the bathroom. Frank checks out the stalls of the bathroom looking for whatever it is. Grim Reaper. It is
kind of funny because he's like moving along and he's on the floor, and the guy who's at the urinal is kind of looking around going, what the hell are you doing?
Grim Reaper comes through the mirror and grabs the man's heart as he is washing his hands. He gone. Frank watches as the man's spirit leaves his body, and the man sees his mom and leaves. Mom!
Yeah, I hope that's what happens.
Frank runs out of the restaurant and sees death on a roof.
He's trying to follow him. He runs out. He leaves Lucy behind. He sees this Grim Reaper, and he's trying to follow it in his car. So he's driving again erratically and just left Lucy behind.
Sheriff learns that Frank Bannister was in the bathroom when the man died. Sheriff tells his men to bring Frank in. See Frank and the other ghosts driving down the road chasing death.
The sheriff doesn't really, he's like, yeah, just bring him in. But he doesn't believe he's involved. I don't know if they're friends or what. Again, it's like with the editor. We see that there's conflict there. We don't know why. And then with the sheriff, we see that they have good feelings towards each other. Again, we don't know why.
Frank has another accident. Cut to the sheriff questioning Lucy. A man comes in, and I thought Lucy seemed to recognize him at first, but not really. It's just because he's odd, I think. He's an FBI agent.
With a Hitler haircut.
Yeah, his name's Milton. He seems a little paranoid, I wrote. Lucy mentions Christ, and the FBI guy becomes sick. And I thought that was going to be a thing.
No, he has a problem with women yelling.
Oh.
Because he says, he's asking precisely when did he leave the bathroom. She's like, I'm not sure. How much salt did he use on his food? And she's like, I don't know. She starts yelling and he loses it. because he goes and vomits because he can't stand women yelling. That's why later in the car he freaks out when she's yelling because she knows that.
Apparently, he's an expert on paranormal psychology. He has 20 years experience.
He gets all the weird cases, he says. And I notice he never calls her doctor. He always calls her Mrs. You probably didn't notice that, did you? But I
Nope.
did. Calls her
FBI,
Mrs. Lannister or whatever her name is.
FBI agent tells Lucy a history of Frank. Frank was going to build his wife a garden, but installed a basketball court instead. He bought some replacement razors for his razor knife on the very day she died, and Frank and Deborah argue. Frank has another accident. Deborah was killed. Frank was picked up 2 hours later, wandering through the woods, and claimed to remember nothing. And Deborah's corpse had a number 13 carved into her forehead.
But see, can they see those on anyone else? Those numbers are carved in the foreheads, but oh, never mind. We find out later why that is.
Judge tells them, the judge, the ghost, the judge, tells them it's the soul collector. Then they see another soul ascend from the Fairwater Museum. Frank drives over there and watches as people try to revive the reporter who wrote the story about him. And Frank sees he has a number 39 on his forehead. Then they pronounce the man dead. Steve, I guess. Frank sees Magda Reese Jones there. She has a number 40 in her forehead. Soul collector runs through the museum. Judge shoots it, and it goes away. Police have Frank at gunpoint. The judge knocks over an sarcophagus, causing a distraction, and Frank runs through the museum as police fire at him.
It's an Egyptian exhibit, and they're just firing and ruining all this stuff.
Mummies seem to come to life in the museum. Police officers shoot them.
They're priceless artifacts. They're just destroying all over the place.
And then I wrote there's a joke about necrophilia, but I'm not really sure it is because it's really two dead people. But still, I didn't think it was very good. Soul collector comes in and slices the judge in two. He gone, I guess.
Well, because no, the judge sees one of the mummies and thinks she's beautiful, and then they have sex. And there's bad jokes all around there. But yeah, the soul collector, I called him the Grim Reaper, but it is a soul collector, kills the judge, slices him with his scythe.
Yep.
What is that called? Yeah.
Frank grabs Magda and runs away with her as the ghost causes distractions.
Because she is the number 40, like you said, but Frank looked at her and said, "You're next." Because he's kind of talking to himself, saying, "You're next." And then she freaks out, thinking that he's going to kill her because he pointed at her and said, "You're next." And now he's chasing her, grabs her, and drags her out.
And they drive away, and he's on Holloway Road, the same road he wrecked on with his wife. Soul collector puts its scythe, is that what you called it? Scythe? I call it a sickle. Through the car.
That's easier. Sickle.
And holds Frank. Frank crashes. Magda makes it out of the car.
He's having flashbacks to his wife at the same time.
Frank
like the
survives
same
as
thing.
well. Flashback of what happened to his wife. Soul collector attacks Magda. She gone. Magda ascends, but gives Frank grief all the way up.
Yeah, gives him a piece of her mind.
Then we see the sheriff sending a fax of Frank's face. You believe we still use fax machines in 2026, Karen?
Well, this was 1996.
Yeah, I know. Like, what's that?
Yeah.
30 years? All right. Frank reports that Magda Reese's body is in his car. He goes to the station and does this. They asked if he had anything to do with her death. Lucy is there for some reason, and she tries to defend Frank. He tells her to go home. He doesn't care about her. Go home. Good day.
I'm a lone wolf. Leave me alone. I don't have any feelings.
Lucy gets in her 1996 Jeep Cherokee. Ray is in the back seat. He don't look so good, I wrote, and he tries to communicate with Lucy. Then we see the FBI questioning Frank. He makes the sheriff leave the room. Sheriff tries to defend Frank. Like, again, they have some relationship or something. I don't know.
That we don't know about. Not like a friendship. Yes.
FBI Milton talks about a woman who could stop the heart of a frog.
I tried to look her up, but I don't think it's real.
Frank tries to tell the FBI guy about the figure in the cape grabbing people's hearts. He calls it death. Milton, the FBI guy, says it's an alter ego that Frank uses to kill.
I thought that was kind of interesting. I
It
mean,
was.
you know, there's some psycho stuff there that they could have explored more. That would have actually been a cooler story. But anyway, go ahead.
The FBI guy, Milton, accuses Frank of killing his wife. Milton asks Frank about the other deaths. Frank starts shaking, and Milton thinks Frank is going to try to kill him because he's shaking. He's like, You're going to try to kill me now, aren't you? But then he reveals he has a lead vest on, Karen.
Yes, a breastplate with nipples.
Cyrus and Stewart arrive at the jail cell, but Frank can't see them. Cyrus says it's because he doesn't believe anymore. FBI agent Milton looks at Frank in his cell and he expects Frank to commit suicide before he goes to trial. They always do, he says. Lucy goes to Frank's house. I wrote not much of a
I didn't
house.
see that either.
Ray is with her. Ray finds a drawing of their house with post-it notes about what would happen where. And then, so Ray knows that Frank set them up.
Didn't see that either.
Lucy finds a garden growing in the basketball court.
Saw that.
Lucy hears
So
a
Frank
phone.
dug up his basketball court that they argued about, and there's a beautiful garden.
He just planted a garden on top of it. The
Well,
basketball
yeah,
hoops that's still there and everything.
but he, after his wife's death, made a beautiful garden.
Lucy hears a phone message from old lady Bradley about her daughter. She wants Frank's help.
Patricia's working with the evil one. He's in the house.
Lucy goes to the house and enters. Ray sees the house moving. Lucy
Yeah,
looks
that
for
was a cool
Patricia.
effect. It was like breathing.
Lucy asks Patricia if her mother is the one that's been hurting her. Patricia has her father's ashes in her room, apparently in an urn.
Looks like a trophy.
Lucy looking at newspapers about Patricia. Patricia could not get away from Johnny. She thought he was going to kill her.
They
Patricia,
go into the mom's room. That's where the newspapers are, right?
yeah. Patricia hides Lucy in the closet when her mother comes up.
Yeah, because they're in the mother's room.
Lucy finds a razor knife in the closet with Frank's initials on it, the one that went missing.
So we're supposed to be thinking it's the mother at this point.
Lucy tries to sneak out. Something comes out of the urn. Ray comes in and tells Lucy to leave. Then Ray's face is cut off. He gone. Lucy goes to see Frank. She tells him about finding the knife. Frank ignores her. Lucy chastises Frank. He doesn't want to hurt her. Lucy wipes away Frank's tears. They hug it out. Now Frank can see the ghosts again. And Frank sees a number 41 on Lucy. Soul Collector enters and grabs Lucy, but Cyrus and Stewart tackle it. Frank tells Lucy to yell for the deputy and to try to stay calm.
So that, yeah, they can get out.
Soul Collector comes in and slices Stewart. Sirius comes in to grab the Soul Collector. Frank and Lucy run out. FBI guy stops them. Lucy hits the FBI guy with a fire extinguisher. Well, sprays him with a fire extinguisher.
But the Soul Collector did get a hold of Lucy's heart for a few seconds in
Yeah,
there.
briefly.
Yeah.
They run out as Cyrus is fighting the Soul Collector. Frank takes Milton's gun. He tells her the only way to stop what is going on and the only way he can protect Lucy if he has an out-of-body experience. He puts the gun to his head. Lucy stops him. She has a better idea. Yeah, she injects him with something and tells him that he only has 20 minutes, and then after that, she will not be able to revive him. Right here I wrote love connection, and she puts him in a deep freeze.
So she
Cryogenic.
opens she opens the freezer, which has an inordinate amount of Froggy's frog come out. And I think we've talked about this before too, but we're going to review, everyone. So she turns down the temperature on the freezer. I don't think we can see what the actual temperature is, but
We do see it dropping, but I don't remember what it ended up at.
So without clothes or shelter, a human will eventually succumb to hypothermia even in mild conditions around 59 degrees Fahrenheit if exposed long enough. In temperatures around minus 22 degrees Fahrenheit, an unprotected person will lose consciousness in roughly 15 minutes and face fatal hypothermia shortly after. Because water conducts heat away from the body 25 times faster than air, immersion in freezing water can cause death in under 20 to 30 minutes. You want to know what the lowest recorded body temperature that a human adult has survived and recovered is from? 56.7 degrees. This occurred in a near drowning incident where the extreme cold slowed the brain's oxygen needs, allowing doctors to slowly resuscitate the patient. But I was like, well, isn't he going to get frostbite for being in there? Frostbite can happen when air temperatures fall below 5 degrees Fahrenheit. In wind chills of minus 16 degrees, frostbite can occur on exposed skin within 30 minutes. It can happen anywhere on the body.
His body should have been damaged, I guess.
It typically affects exposed areas like nose, ears, cheeks, chin, fingers, and toes. You'll feel pins and needles in the affected areas, followed by numbness. And then hypothermia, which is the other thing you would have gotten, can occur when the body temperature drops below 95 degrees. And then you get damage to heart, kidney, liver, and even death. But here's the thing that I found interesting. According to the National Institute on Aging, living in a poorly heated home can also cause hypothermia. To avoid developing hypothermia indoors, it says to block the drafts and stuff. And it says to keep indoor temperatures above 68 degrees Fahrenheit. I consider myself someone who the National Institute on Aging might be interested in. And we do not keep our house at 68 because we're cheap, and my husband thinks 74 is perfectly reasonable. But if you are a woman of a certain age, 74 is like living in a lizard's environment. So I have a separate air conditioner, and it is not. I would live where I could see, I would sleep where I could see my breath if I could. I don't think it's below 68, but I'm going to take a temperature in there and see what it is. Maybe that's my problem. Maybe I have hypothermia.
Sounds like it, Karen. Sounds like it. Lucy prepares everything so that she can revive Frank. FBI guy Milton arrives. She tells him that she is going to revive him at 9 o'clock. Milton pulls a machine gun on her and says, "Why would we want to do that?" Frank dies.
So yes, he does. I'm sorry. It's the last thing. You should see Greg's face whenever I do this. He's like, oh. Milton says, I didn't know you were interested in cryogenics.
He does call her doctor then, I think.
He does, but maybe. But what he actually means is cryonics. Cryogenics is actually a branch of physics and engineering that studies how materials behave at extremely low temperatures. But cryonics is a highly experimental practice that uses low temperature to preserve legally dead bodies in the hope of future medical revival. And in case you want to know what they do, if you want to preserve your body, teams stabilize a legally dead patient and maintain oxygen to the brain, packing the body in ice. Blood is replaced with cryoprotectants, a medical-grade antifreeze to prevent damaging ice crystals from forming as the body is cooled. The patient is stored at minus 196 degrees Celsius in a specialized metallic dewar. Some choose to preserve just the head and brain, neurosuspension, in the hope that the future science can clone or build a new body. So it's not, I've always called it cryogenics, but I didn't know that that was wrong, and it's cryonics. So there you go.
Frank dies and evades the white light, exits his body, and looks for Lucy. Milton puts Lucy in his car. It's a police car, I wrote. He drives away. Frank follows, as does the soul collector. Soul collector's on top of the police car.
She does yell when they first get in the car, and he can't handle it and has to turn on the radio.
Frank flies down and knocks the soul collector off. Soul collector goes off after Frank with his sickle, but a semi hits him.
Yeah, Frank gets run over a lot. Frank is an inexperienced ghost. He's like kind of clumsy.
But the semi hits the soul collector.
Yeah. Well, it runs over Frank and then runs
him over. But yeah. Milton takes Lucy to the cemetery. Milton says he will take Lucy back in 11 hours. She sees that Milton has a swastika on his hand. And he goes into all this shit he had to go through as a deep undercover agent for the FBI. Apparently, he was a sex slave for 6 months.
See,
He
I didn't
has,
see that. I just saw that he had a
has
bunch of
scars
scars.
all over his body. His body has a story of pain. He has suffered for his country, but pain has its reward.
But
The
there's,
power of the mind is absolute. Then the car starts, and Milton begins to think that he is making the car move with the
yes.
power of his mind, but really it's Frank driving the car. Master Sergeant comes, the Master Sergeant Ghost pulls Frank out of the car. Soul Collector slices up the Master Sergeant. He gone now too. Soul Collector goes after Lucy. Frank fires bullets at him from a ghostly machine gun.
He got off the Master Sergeant.
Lucy fights with Milton. Lucy drives away, question mark. Soul Collector gone, question mark. And then Soul Collector reveals himself as Johnny Bartlett.
Yeah, because Frank shoots him up into pieces and his face is still
Just
there.
splattering everywhere.
Yeah, and he holds up the face piece of the slime and he says it's Johnny.
Ghosts in the cemetery come and give their support to Frank. Soul Collector seeps through the cracks in a crypt. Frank chases after him. Frank tries to hit the Soul Collector with the sickle, but Lucy brings him back before he can destroy the Soul Collector.
Yeah, right as he's about to destroy him, she brings him back, which is a homage to what is that? What was that movie with was it Sleepers or something where the
Flatliners.
Flatliners, that's it. Where they're right about to do. I saw that. I don't remember it. See, that's another one I could watch again.
Frank tells Lucy to protect Patricia. Johnny Bartlett is back.
So Frank wakes up from he's all frosty and cold and he says something and the other doctor is all of a sudden there helping without any questions as to why this is all going on. The coroner that we saw earlier is helping her and she leaves because Frank says go take care of Patricia, but she's not just leaving Frank. Frank's being taken care of by this other doctor now.
Lucy drives her Jeep Cherokee to Patricia's house. Lucy tries to take Patricia away. Old woman stops her. Lucy asks the old woman why she has Frank's razor knife in her closet. Patricia runs after her mother. Patricia comes down, says the old woman wants to talk to police now. Lucy tells her that Johnny Bartlett is back. Patricia says she knows. He comes to her at night. And right here, this whole thing was going on. I'm like, Patricia don't seem right. But then Johnny Bartlett
Wait,
arrives.
so and the Patricia's played by famous Dee Wallace.
Dee Wallace Stone now.
Yeah. But she's a little off.
Johnny Bartlett arrives. Apparently, Patricia is the mastermind of everything. Lucy notices that Patricia is acting strange. Lucy cannot see Johnny or hear him, but
it seems like Patricia sure can.
Patricia sure can because they are interacting and he's
being lovey-dovey. Yeah.
Whatever.
Her face, stroking her face. And yeah, just to be clear.
Yeah, I know. Patricia and Johnny go to the kitchen. Patricia gets a big butcher knife.
Because Johnny's just wants Patricia to kill Dr. Lucy. Yeah.
But Patricia stabs Johnny repeatedly, and he seems to like it.
Oh, see, I didn't see that either.
Oh, my gosh. Lucy goes up to see the old woman, and she gone. Patricia attacks Lucy, tries to stab her. They fight. Patricia gets a rifle and shoots Lucy.
At Lucy. Oh, she does.
At Lucy.
Yeah, I don't think she hits her, does she?
No. Soul Collector grabs Lucy. Frank fights with the Soul Collector. Soul Collector goes.
Frank shows up, yeah.
Goes into the urn. Frank sees that the urn has Johnny's name on it. Frank says they have to get it to the other side. They need to go to a church. And right here I wrote 20 minutes left.
Lucy says there's a chapel in the old sanitarium.
Frank and Lucy hide in a kitchen, apparently, the sanitarium. Patricia comes in with the rifle looking for them. And right here, I swear it's a rifle. But whatever.
It's a shotgun, right?
Well, later it's a shotgun. Later it's a pump shotgun, but I thought this was a rifle, but I could be wrong.
And she's taped a flashlight on top of it.
Frank begins to see spirits from the old asylum. He can no longer see Lucy. He
Yeah, he's
watches
going in and out of the past when the shooting originally happened and the present.
he watches as Johnny pulls a shotgun and attempts to take his first victim. Frank learns that the chapel is on the fourth floor from conversations. FBI Milton guy arrives. Frank witnesses the past. He sees Patricia, and Patricia appears and fires a pump action shotgun at them. Frank witnesses Johnny kill another person. Milton grabs Lucy. Frank hides from Patricia. Lucy and Milton fight. Lucy escapes via the elevator. Patricia looks for Frank. Frank again witnesses more killings. Lucy on the elevator, I guess. Frank sees another killing, number 12.
That was her father. It was Patricia's father. That's why he goes and he's like, it's okay, the law's on the way. You could stop now, whatever. And Patricia and Johnny are both standing there, and I'm pretty sure it's Johnny who shoots her father.
Lucy trapped in the elevator in between floors. Lucy gives Frank the urn. Frank busts his way into the chapel using a cross. And right here we have the Shining homage. He catches a falling statue of, I guess it's Mary.
It's Mary.
The urn flies through the air and Milton grabs it and he releases the ashes. Milton shoots Frank. Frank sees Patricia at the end of the hall. He turns around and drops through the floor. Patricia shoots Milton, blowing his head off. Frank falls through the floor, through several floors. Patricia tries to shoot Lucy. Frank witnesses Patricia and Johnny in the kitchen, I guess, celebrating their deeds or whatever. Patricia takes the elevator down and gets to Frank. Patricia hits Lucy in the head with the gun. Frank has a flashback about his wife. He sees Patricia kill Deborah. Patricia pulls the gun and tries to shoot Frank, but there are no more shells.
Finally.
Lucy fights with Johnny. Patricia fights with Frank. Patricia appears to strangle Frank. Frank holds down Lucy. Lucy fights with Johnny, holds down Lucy. Patricia grabs a pickaxe. Patricia raises the pickaxe, but Frank's ghost grabs her. Frank grabs Patricia's spirit and pulls her up into the light.
Yeah, but is she even dead? How does he get her spirit?
Just pulls it out of her. It looked like. Johnny chases after them.
Yeah, because Frank's basically going, Johnny, I got Patricia, going up to the light.
Johnny grabs Patricia, and then they descend. They think they're going back down to finish their work, but no, Karen. They descended to a pit of snakes. And I wrote, oh no, it's one big snake.
Yes, it's a demon, I thought, but.
And we see Frank in heaven, I assume, with Stuart and Cyrus. They say Johnny and took the expressway to hell. That's what Cyrus says. Frank reunites with his wife. They tell Frank that it's not his time. They send him back down.
Even
Lucy
his
holds
wife
Frank.
says, go back down.
House being torn down. Frank and Lucy have a picnic. Sheriff comes to talk to Frank. Apparently Patricia had a bunch of Ouija boards. Sheriff wants to know if Frank wants to write a book with them about their experiences.
Which he should, because what else is he going to do? But whatever.
But the sheriff drives away, and the ghost of Milton is in the back of the sheriff's car. And Lucy acts like she can see Milton now.
Yeah, she can, because Frank said sometimes when you have a traumatic experience, your perspective changes. And then she repeats that to him, and now she can see ghosts too.
And she's kind of chasing after him, acting like a ghost or something. The end. Credits.
But neither one of them has any money, and they're ripping down the house. I don't know what was going on there.
She's a doctor.
True, but she lost her $15,000 or $16,000 investment.
All right, Karen. Anything we learned today?
Well, you were so excited to learn about cryogenics and
It's just a long one, Karen. It's just long.
cryogenics and cryonics, hypothermia, frostbite, and French berets. Is that it?
That's all I got. I was going to make an Iron Maiden reference, but didn't. And by the way, Karen, Frank's car is a 1959 Volvo P5 or PV 544 sports sedan.
Okay. Yellow.
Yes. His in the condition it was in today would probably go for about $7,000 today.
Wow.
Not 1996.
But that was in pretty bad shape.
Well, it takes a beating and keeps on ticking. I'll give it
That's
that,
true.
Karen.
They are tough cars, I hear.
And
so
lots of
they're-
accidents. It's the same car his wife died in, or whatever. All right, comments on the Grim Reaper margarita.
Delicious. What'd you think?
It was fine. It was good. Aren't you supposed to salt the rims of margaritas?
I'm not sure. I think the only thing that makes this well, there is some fruit-like substance and tequila. Is that why it's a margarita?
And it's pretty dark.
Well, it's the Grim Reaper.
I know. I was wondering if they were trying to make it black.
Maybe. Well, it's definitely purple, and I think gold would have shown up a little better. Just because it is dark.
All right. Anyone you need to thank this week, Karen?
Well, as a top 100 horror movie podcaster, I'd like to thank our listeners because there's a lot of podcasts out there. Thanks.
At least 100.
Exactly. Thanks for spending time with us. What about you, Greg? Who do you need to thank?
Karen, I'm going to thank our listeners in Hong Kong.
Wow.
I know, right?
Well, that's what top 95 horror movie podcasters do.
And of course, the band Verse 13 for providing all the music in the Scary Spirits podcast.
The music definitely makes the podcast better.
Anything else, Karen?
Time to go to bed, Tanya and John. And please drink responsibly.
Yes.
Hey, it's Karen, and I'm here to talk to you about getting social with us. Did you know you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Scary Spirits Podcast? Or check out our website, scaryspirits.com. If you have something to say, email us at info@scaryspirits.com. And as always, thanks so much for listening. Please drink responsibly.